Benjamin, I want to make sure that this is the best use of your team's time as well. So tell me exactly, based on the conversations we had a couple of days ago, what would you like me to most focus on?
I want to focus on exactly what you shared the other day. A lot of us, I mean, we're all life agents. We're looking for a way to get into the B2B and put together an organic lead flow. So the Share 360 was amazing.
Okay,
Um, we have like Bridget works with two nonprofits already. Adele works for a major nonprofit already. So if we can have that type of conversation and the vision of
for
organic
sure.
leads coming from that, that'd be greatly appreciated.
For sure. We'll do that.
All right. We could jump in. I believe in starting on time. Those who join us will join us. So first and foremost, guys, I appreciate all of you for jumping in. I know it's last minute, but I really wanted all of you, as you already know, we're always looking for ways to enhance our businesses and make things run organically and seamless and be able to have a broader reach. And it's so ironic, a year from today or a year this month, I had the privilege of meeting this gentleman, Butcher, in Vegas, shook his hand, took a picture, and now we're about to collaborate and expand our business and bless so many people and build wealth for our families. I think this is going to be an amazing collaboration. I chose those of us here as individuals who I think can see the vision first before we roll it out to our organizations and our connections. So I'm going to turn it over to Hudson and Butch to really cast a vision for everybody. So everybody just wave and say hello. And if you guys can turn on your cameras, please do so. And we'll go from there.
Awesome. Hudson, I'll let you start.
Yeah, super excited to, get introduced to this team as well. Benjamin's right. We met about a year ago in Vegas, and took a picture. And funny how the stars all kind of came together a year later. The timing's super perfect. We've had some meetings with, Benjamin the last few weeks, just kind of getting into the ecosystem and getting to learn more about this team. And we're so excited to have the opportunity to work closely with you guys and be able to, learn more about you guys, work with professional individuals like yourselves. I'm super excited. Benjamin speaks so highly of this team, and we're looking forward to this opportunity as well, and can't wait to, get introduced to you guys, get to know you guys, become friends and family and partners and all of that as well. So I'm super excited and I can't wait. The timing couldn't be any better.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, good good morning everybody, and especially Adele, good morning to you. When we're on the central time or on the East Coast like some of you are, it's almost like they're a whole day behind. So we're gonna get, well, and the standpoint is she's got a running head start. Hey, I'm excited. Had a chance to obviously speak to Ben a couple of days ago as well, and we just kind of had a meeting of the minds and shared some collaborations of what we're looking to do. I'll give you guys a high level overview, and then we'll dive into some specifics so you can kind of wrap your head around some of the opportunities as well. So we're BizConnect 360. We've been around for just over a decade. Started out in 2014 up in Southern California. We built our business there. We moved to the state of Texas about 2 years ago, and we've been in Texas ever since. We still have an office in Southern California as well, and we've been expanding ever since. So I came from the financial services space as well. Started off in B2C, which is my introduction, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. There was a system of a company that I was working with, and there was a recruiting model, and it allowed us to build our business, and we essentially had the ability to create those kind of perpetual opportunities. But I also realized that for the most part, that may or may not suit everybody, and there was an exhaustion that came in with the constant need to prospect. So we pivoted our company in 2014, and we started this business to business model, starting off in financial services, and it opened up an opportunity for us that we have never seen match since. And the ability for us to have not only access to a B2B market, but the ability to also never really ever need to prospect ever again. So I'm going to kind of share a little bit about that with you as well. So an overview of BizConnect 360, and I'm going to kind of maybe just share my screen if I can do that, just to give you guys a real quick synopsis. Everything we do in BizConnect is designed to be a concierge-driven platform. The reason for that is, we attract professionals from all walks of life, and we want to make sure that they don't have to relinquish one identity to adopt another. And we also want to make sure that we can celebrate the identity that they have, right? So whether they're in health insurance or commercial real estate or their tax planning or attorney network, they can stay in their lane and be who they are and be more of a consultant to the client base rather than having to become a specific expert every time they have to wear a different hat. So everything we do is a concierge-driven platform. So, the Legacy 360 platform, which is financial services for the business-to-business market, we have the opportunities to run that through a concierge desk as well. Meaning, I don't have to be the expert to my client. I can utilize the concierge services. They can help write the cases. They can help present. They can help fill out the paperwork, onboard the business, and I would essentially be a split agent with them if I want to take advantage of that. If I don't, I have full liberties to go write the business myself, right? And same with the Fundable 360. That's a business to business credit builder, access to credit lines, ecosystem that is very robust, extremely revolutionary in how we do that business. Everything is done through a concierge-driven platform as well, without taking away any of the commission splits from the rep. The reason for that is we're obviously trying to make sure there is also a compliance system. Everything is set correctly. There's all the right expectations set so we can protect the integrity of the company and every rep that's involved with us as well. That's a kind of a fiduciary duty we have to everybody else. Scale 360 is a AI automation system, essentially more so than just widgets and chatbots. This is a true automation product that we have that we've offered to all of our business owners, again, through a concierge system so that we don't have to become AI experts or work automation experts. We can start leveraging experts within the company and then positioning ourselves as a lead consultant or as a lead advisor in whatever our identity is. And that brings us today to what we call Share360. So if it's okay with you, Ben, I'll dive right into that, and we'll show everybody in this channel how we can utilize a kind of a profound free platform to be able to allow us access to relationship after relationship after relationship, giving us a perpetual way of conducting our business. Is that all right, Ben? Can I pivot to
Let's
that?
do it. Absolutely.
Perfect. Let me see if you guys can see my screen.
Good.
Perfect.
Perfect. So let me give you some background on this. So we created a program a couple of years ago, and the reason we did this was we wanted to ensure that all of our professional relationships that work with us, and like I said, we have people from all channels, all walks of life, especially in the business to business side, right? And we give them an opportunity and the authority to stay within their lanes, to keep their identities. We have partners that are essentially, like I said, in the commercial real estate. They could be commercial lenders. They could be health professionals. They could be dealing with tax planning. And we allow them to stay within that identity while leveraging this tremendous ecosystem to give them access to new relationships. So here's a program that we created. I'll give you some background a little bit as well. I worked with as a consultant for Team USA in the last few years, and my job with Team USA on the Olympic and also World Championship movements was to be able to raise money for their organization. And I realized in having to do that, raising money does two things. One is exhausting, and it's a great way to lose friends because they kind of see you coming, right? So I created a program and then I designed a program that was going to be proprietary to us and the ability for us to introduce an idea, a fresh ecosystem that didn't exist before. And as I drafted the program, I first took it to our banking partners to get them to administer and sponsor the program and underwrite it. And they agreed to do that, right? Which is essentially Wells Fargo and US Bank and HSBC. And in doing so, I'll share with you just how skilled of a sales guy I am. I was able to convince the bank to be excited about making less money and giving away a portion of their profits to empower a nonprofit, and while helping the small communities grow as well. And they seem to like the idea. So then we took it to the IRS and we got them to approve the process as well. And they were able to give us their blessings to make sure that this program was completely kosher for us to run at a banking level across the nation. And we can run this in any of the 50 states. So we're super excited with that. But essentially, here's how the program works. And I'll share with you how it feeds immediately into the benefit of what BizConnect360 is doing and how it provides us an endless flow of opportunity, an endless flow of relationships, and endless access. So I'm going to relate a lot of that conversation today specifically to financial services, because I believe this is the audience that we're speaking with, and also be able to let you guys know where our backgrounds come from as well. So, we talked about the NFL club, right? The no friends left. The toughest part of financial services is always having to find that next client. And what we realized in the B2C space, and I'm not knocking it, but in the B2C space, no matter how much of a good job you do, there's always a little bit of a hesitation for somebody to refer you to somebody else. And the reason being is I found over the last 25 years that clients get a little possessive about their financial guy, about their money guy. And they also maybe are a little bit hesitant to have you potentially share a little bit of their information with the next person they refer you to. So they get real possessive and private with who handles their money. In doing so, right, the reward for doing a good job is you get no referrals. So we wanted to fix that a little bit, and going into the B2B space, we found that everything changes in that space. So the way this program works, Share360 specifically, is it combines the ability, so every business, 100% of the business, no one's exempt from this right now in today's world, whether they're brick and mortar, whether they're a online e-commerce business, they're coaching, consulting companies, whatever the case might be, all of them accepts payments in a form of a credit card, Visa, Master, Discover Card, American Express. And we're not looking to get into the merchant processing space, but I will share with you how we utilize that space to divert monies towards a nonprofit. So here's what we're essentially able to do. Every business has a fee that they are assessed when they accept a credit card payment. Nothing's changed with that. It's been going on for decades now, over 20, 30 years. So every business, if they make a sale and they collect a payment using American Express, Visa, MasterCard, Discover, they got to pay a little percentage to the bank to allow them the opportunity to do that. What we were able to do at zero cost to a business owner is give them the ability to nominate a nonprofit of their choice, as long as it's a 501c3, a nonprofit of their choice. And we were able to divert the fees that were originally all going to a bank and take a portion of that and give it to the nonprofit instead. And this was something that we were super, super excited about, because here's what it's able to do, right? We're able to approach any nonprofit, especially community-based nonprofits that are looking for funding, looking for assistance, looking for consistency in their donations. Give them the ability. We provide this service for free, right? We got the banks to absorb any cost associated with this, provide this service for free, and that nonprofit essentially can now introduce us to any business in their community that wants to support that nonprofit at zero cost. And we would come in and build that relationship and establish that onboarding process. And in the process now, we have access to decision makers in that company. And then after that, after we get the onboarding in place, the business continues running their business as per normal. A portion of those funds automatically go to the nonprofit, and we wash, rinse, and repeat, and we do this over and over again. What just happened, right? Think about this for a second from a business perspective. So put your business hats on. What just happened is this. We were able to give away a program that is designed and proprietary to us. We gave that away for free to a nonprofit in the ability, in the essence, in trying to help them raise money to provide perpetual funding for them while working within their community. The nonprofit then now invites all the business owners in the community that they're aware of or wants to help them to nominate those businesses to participate in this program at zero cost to the business. Now, I'm the ambassador, right? In this case, I'm the ambassador, or Errol is the ambassador, and Errol now becomes the ambassador. So the nonprofit will set meetings up, right, with the assistance of our concierge team, where Errol is the lead advisor to this mission. He's the consultant to this project. He's not the expert. He's really just a quarterback in this situation. So Errol now gets introduced to 30, 40, 50 business owners in the community from the nonprofit that wants to enroll in this program. And Errol gets to build this relationship with all 30, 40, 50 business owners. Because when you're talking about the banking side of it, you're always dealing with the C-level decision makers, right? So C-suite guys, CEOs, COOs, CFOs, and stuff like that. So Errol now gets to build that relationship and these businesses on board into this ecosystem at zero cost. Let me tell you what happens next. Donations start to flow to the nonprofit. A ton of positive fanfare starts coming up. Community gets recognition. Business owners get recognized. Press release go out. Social media is flooded with kudos and thank yous and praises. And the business owner now feels validated in this process. And all this while, their liaison between them and the nonprofit and the banks has been Errol Patterson, right? So here's what happens. Then Errol gets to go back to the business owner and says, hey, John, I'm so excited what we're able to do as a result of helping the church or helping the school or helping the Boys and Girls Club. We're able to get these things done now before the summer comes up and all those kind of things. And then Errol gets to say, by the way, John, I noticed that every time I swing by the office to say hello, I notice that you have a help wanted sign. Is the issue finding the right people or is the issue keeping the right guys? And the business owner says what? More than likely he says both, right? Because every business in America today is struggling to do what? Hire talent or keep the good people they have. So now Errol says, listen, you know, I'm here as a liaison for the nonprofits, and my job was to administer this and make sure that everything works at a high level. But more importantly, you know, what we do as a company, right, is we help business owners strategically recruit their top talent and keep their best guys through some real creative programs that we have. I'd love to schedule an opportunity to speak with you and kind of share some ideas when the moment presents itself. I think you'd want to hear what I have to say. I think it's going to make a real difference in the way you can retain your top talent and also attract top talent. And that business owner goes, of course, because he's already seen success and recognition and validation in the experience of working through Share360 with the nonprofits and the community within the ecosystem. So now he sets a meeting up with Errol, and Errol gets to talk a little bit about our Legacy 360 programs, which specifically addresses employee retention, using insurance and programs like that, and also employee recruiting using some defined benefit programs and deferred compensation schedules that we can talk about at another meeting if this all makes sense. So that's kind of what it does. So this now, understand this, not only is Errol getting to build a relationship with 50 business owners because he's being introduced from a nonprofit that he gave away the program for free to, he's now also having access to not only those 50 business owners, but if he puts any of these plans in place for them, he has access to all the employees within the organization as well. I assure you, with any nonprofit that Errol decides to give away this program for free and run this according to the plan and the game plans that we have within Share360, he will never see the need to prospect again because he will have persistent and perpetual access to business owners, employees, and that whole new ecosystem that is going to allow him to never, ever have to figure out where his next client's coming from. This has changed the way financial services is being done. And not only that, it creates a tremendous revenue stream for Errol as well, as I'm about to show you guys in a little bit. Any quick questions so far before I go on to the next slide? Cool. So Let me just give you some updates on how the banking system works. Every time somebody swipes a credit card, these are the four people that get paid, right? You got the Visa MasterCard network, you got the sponsor bank, you got the servicing office, and you got a sales office. These are the people that participate in that 2, 3, or 4% fee that a business owner has to pay. What we were able to do was get everybody to take a little bit less money to be able to carve out a slice of the pie to a nonprofit that they can nominate and the business owner's choice. So let me share with you real quickly what's in it for the business owner. The business owner gets to take control as to who gets those fees. A decision he never had ability to make before. He was always just told what the fees were. The bank got all that money, and he just had to go along with that, factor that into his cost of goods sold. Whatever percentage he was being assessed, 2, 3, or 4, he just had to pay that, and he took that out of cost of goods. That's just how he's always run his business. But now he's got input to who gets that money, and he gets to support a cause that he's passionate about. This has never happened in business before, and we're the first to introduce this. So this is super exciting, number one. Number two, what's in it for the business owner is community validation and accreditation, because he's going to get recognized among the community as we put decals and storefront notices letting everybody know that every transaction in that business supports a specific nonprofit that they're all familiar with, whether it be the church or anything else. Number three, and this is where it becomes free advertising for the business, because remember, the program is free. So the nonprofit is receiving these contributions at no cost to the nonprofit on an ongoing perpetual basis. Every transaction, every day, every hour, every week, every month, every year. So that nonprofit now starts to put out all of these positive messages of thank you and gratitude, announcing to the community, whether it be newsletters, email campaigns, social media, thanking the business for their support. This provides a tremendous amount of free advertising for the business, because the entire ecosystem of that nonprofit is now starting to see which businesses are supporting the nonprofit, and they may decide to take their business there. So this is a win-win-win for the business. Right now, what's in it for the nonprofit? Couple of things. Number one, perpetual donations on a seamless passive level. They never have to worry where the next monies are coming from again, because all of these businesses will be giving monies to the nonprofit every single month. And I'm going to show you how much here in a little bit to keep that going. What else is in it for the nonprofit? This is all passive. So they never have to worry about any active campaigns. Most nonprofits we work with nationwide, they struggle with finding monies to implement a program, so they can't implement that program, or they never have predictability of donation, so they can't do any future planning. This changes all of that. What's in it for the banks? Why would the banks be willing to take less money? Number one, they're hoping that within this ecosystem, there's what's called stickiness. That means retention of accounts, which gives them longevity of service. Number two, the banks also get to beat their chest to their shareholders, their stakeholders, about the work they're doing in the community. And more importantly, number three, the banks also are encouraged to participate in what's called CRAs, which are Community Reinvestment Acts. And this gives them the ability to fulfill those requirements of servicing these community nonprofits as part of their CRA obligations. So it's a win-win-win for the business, a win for the nonprofit, and a win for the banks. Now, let me share with you that it's also a win for you. The business has no choice but to pay this fee. We give them some decision-making process as to where that money goes, and it's ongoing and perpetual. So here's a quick example. Joan owns a bakery. The pastor used to hit her up for a check every time they wanted to do a summer program. She used to write a check. But now she don't need to do that anymore. She enrolls her business in this platform. So every time a muffin, a croissant, a donut flies out of her door, a transaction fee gets assessed. A portion of that goes to the church. It's seamless. It's on cruise control day after day after day. Everybody wins in that situation, right? So let me just share with you economics. A business like we just showed you, Jones Bakery, right? A mom and pop operation, a Pilates studio or hair salon, a nail salon, anything along those lines. We're talking just community businesses. They're going to redirect in this exercise. They're going to redirect about $2,000 a year towards a nonprofit. And that's at an extremely conservative level. I will share that with, I will tell you that analytics has told us that it's more than likely 2 to not 3x those numbers every single year for mom and pop businesses. But in this example, it's $2,000. So if there's 50 businesses that participate in this program through the introduction of the nonprofit, it's going to generate about $100,000 a year towards that nonprofit. This is all passive monies that didn't exist before, that we've essentially created at zero cost while promoting community involvement and community spirit and community recognition. So this is a tremendous program. Now, what's in it for the consultant that is orchestrating all of this, that is part of the BizConnect ecosystem, that is one of our ambassadors that works on our platform, right? That ambassador is also going to receive a part of the portfolio that the bank is retaining. They will continue to incentivize that ambassador to manage and maintain that relationship. So this essentially becomes a paid role from the banks towards that ambassador to the tune here of about $75,000 a year, every single year to manage that nonprofit. Now, why would this happen, right? Because every business in the ecosystem, if they were a hair salon, they cut hair last month, they'll cut hair this month. If they were a nail salon, they did nails last month, they'll do nails this month. If they were a Pilates studio, they had members last month, they had members this month, which means it's every single month, and it equates to about $75,000 a year for every 100 grand that goes towards a nonprofit. So about 75% of what the nonprofit gets paid to the rep that is managing that relationship within our ecosystem. Now, what happens if over time I start to expand that? If I was the rep, or if Errol was the rep, and he had the ability to bring on 2 or 3 or 4 different nonprofits, and a lot of times nonprofits refer other nonprofits, and Errol had a chance to service those nonprofits as well as an ambassador. Not only is he now getting the ability to get introduced to all the businesses that are supporting nonprofit number 2 and number 3 and number 4, which is now giving him hundreds of relationships in the B2B space to provide financial service, to provide 401k, to provide defined benefits program, to provide health insurance, to provide life insurance, whatever it is doing, annuity planning. To hundreds of business owners and their employees, potentially thousands. He also now has the ability to get paid for every time that he manages these relationships as he onboards them through the ecosystem of the nonprofits. So let's just say over the course of the year, he brings on 500 businesses through this relationship, all still using the concierge to make sure that everything flows smoothly. And they all start to process and they all start to move monies to the nonprofit. It'll generate about $1 million a year towards the nonprofit, all combined, and it'll generate about $750,000 every single year to the ambassador that is managing that relationship. That is happening today everywhere in this industry. Just so you know, it's a $1 trillion industry. So if we paid Errol $750,000 a year, he won't even make a mark in terms of where that puts him in the hierarchy of all that money that's flowing in the business, right? Because there's just so much money in banking, and here's the ability. And this, by the way, is just coming out of his Share360 participation. It doesn't even take into consideration all of these access up to the relationships he now has to go channel all his financial outcomes and solutions or whatever he's doing in financial services towards these markets as well. So that's essentially what we're doing as a company. We're looking to redirect about $25 million a year towards the causes of nonprofits. I will assure you the bank is losing no sleep over that, but it's making a tremendous difference towards how nonprofits are operating, and it's changing the culture of how all of that works. So Ben, that's kind of an overview of how that ecosystem works. That is a program that we've allowed access to all of our community partners and all of our ambassadors and all of our affiliates and our associates within BizConnect360 to be able to use that to create perpetual source of referral systems to business owners. And in doing so, they get to channel whatever their other identity is towards that business because they've now built that relationship, all the while we're paying them to become Share360 ambassadors as well.
Amazing. It's really we always want clients and make a living while making a difference. And you put together an amazing formula, an amazing system that's going to allow us to do that. I don't want to take up the time. I want folks to really ask questions because we had the conversation. Any questions from anyone for Butch while we have him here right now?
I have a question. The fees are coming from the credit card transactions or
Correct.
Okay.
Whatever fees that are currently paying stays the same. The only difference now is that fees are split between the bank and the nonprofit. So no change
Merchant.
to the cost for the business owner.
Okay. Merchant transaction. Okay, got it. What that was I got clear on that. Thank you.
No worries.
Any other questions? I know y'all gonna ask me the questions, so please ask Butch. Hudson.
We have a training and a system for all of that. You know, the opportunity here is this. And if I said, hey, Adele, let's just say you were the actual nonprofit. And I say, hey, Adele, if there was an opportunity for you to have access to perpetual passive donations, is that something you'd like to learn about? Right? And the program's for free. And the answer would be yes. And then you would book a meeting, and then one of our concierge team will explain to that nonprofit how this whole system works. And we'll do all the implementations from that point as well. So we have a whole system that supports that. Remember,
Okay.
our goal here is to keep our advisors as consultants at a high level. And then we have experts that we can bring in regarding any vertical we want to do, whether it's funding, whether it's donations, whether it's financial services, whether it's automations. We have different experts within our company that we'll just pull into those meetings as well.
Okay.
That's
Perfect.
awesome.
And then, Larry, the answer is yes. We do a lot of work with churches. We work really, really well with what's called community and municipal churches because we love the impact that we can make in their communities. When we designed Share360, the goal here was to be able to make an impact on a beneficiary audience that we know we could touch, see, and feel. So for community-based churches, this works really well for them as well. For them to jump on board really, really quick. And it was also easy for their community to jump on board in nominating their own businesses.
Absolutely.
Right? So I'll give you a quick example here just to share some economics with you guys as well. Any church has an intrinsic audience that is loyal to that brand and loyal to that church. So if you had a church that wanted to take advantage of this program at no cost to the church, and they had the ability to make an announcement to their congregation or invite us to make an announcement on their behalf to their congregation, we help with all of that. We create messaging, we create email campaigns, we create letter appeals, we create flyers, QR codes, posters, videos, landing pages. All of that is done by the concierge team. So the church's job is just to announce the opportunity. And if 50 business owners or 100 business owners within that church decided, I'd love for my church to get the monies instead of it all going to the bank, that's not only going to create about $500,000 to that church every single year, it's also going to generate about $250,000 to $300,000 to that rep or to that ambassador that introduced that relationship.
Wow.
And also now give you access to 100 business owners that gets to learn who you are in the community and what value you can provide them at a company level on anything else they may need assistance with. So, yeah.
And we're only in North America. We are Hawaii, not Puerto Rico, though. You
Yeah,
said,
no
right?
Puerto Rico, Canada, or Mexico at this time because of the IRS regulations. It has to be within the 50 United States.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the nonprofit, I'm glad you asked the question, Ben. The nonprofit has to be a US-based nonprofit. They can support missions overseas, but they need to still be a US-based registration to collect the monies. So we are working with nonprofits that support missions in Kenya and Cameroon and the Philippines, and all that's fine as
Right.
long as the monies are collected here in the US. The
Yes.
other caveat that the IRS has stipulated is all the businesses that want to support this program also have to be US based. So currently we can't support businesses that are domiciled in Canada or Mexico or Puerto Rico. Yeah.
That makes sense.
And yeah.
In terms
So
of the next step, so getting everything up and going? I know as Larry asked, was there an mission to get started? If we can hit on that real quick in
yeah, for
terms of what
sure.
we're going to do to move forward, that'd be
So
great.
BizConnect360 is an ecosystem for business professionals that want to collaborate with other professionals and have access to concierge-driven programs that will enhance and increase their identities in the community. There is no cost to participate with us on anything that BizConnect does. On the fundable side, which is access to a tremendous funding ecosystem that allows you to be able to offer funding to new startups, to run-ups, and often without personal guarantees, giving people access to credit lines and everything else that we do here. That's all commissionable, by the way. So there's no cost to be affiliated with that. There's no cost to be affiliated in Legacy 360, which is a concierge-driven financial services platform specifically in the B2B space. We do offer some B2C solutions as well because employees of the business owners we work with may have some B2C needs, and there's a solution for that. Super turnkey programs. We very sexy programs that we can introduce at a business-to-business level and a business-to-consumer level. And there is no cost to be associated in that platform as well. And then obviously our Scale 360 is our complete AI automated workforce that allows us to provide residual income on our products as well, and gives us that ability to get paid on automating companies. As you all know, everybody's going to AI today. The difference here is everything we do is concierge driven. So if Benjamin today came to us as a client and said, hey, listen, I'm looking for a way to automate my business. I want to be able to communicate with all of my reps. I want to be able to communicate with all of my product providers, all my insurance agencies. I want to be able to automate and streamline everything. We would completely white glove and provide him automation systems to make sure that he can meet all of those demands, and he would have a working product before any deployment happens. So this is not something where he just pays and has access to and he has to go figure it out. Everything for us is white glove driven as well. The only cost that you will see within our ecosystem is to participate in Share360. There is a background check that has to happen at a slightly higher elevated scale because of the banking environment that we're in. So there's like a $49 background fee that gets assessed to everybody that has to go through there, just because for us to participate and partner with Wells Fargo, US Bank, and HSBC, correct, $49, yeah. We just have to make sure that everybody can at least get through that as well. And then there is usually, and listen to this, there is usually like a $24.95, what's called banking agent support fee that every rep is going to have to pay until they get their first 3 accounts in the system. So it's more of a learning tuition rate. Once you have 3 accounts, remember, every nonprofit brings us 50 accounts. So once you have 3 accounts, then there is no more fee. Everything is done because now you have gone through the system, you've learned the process, you understood the automations, you've understood concierge, just because of the amount of support that has to be given to each new rep. So some of our reps never see that $24.95 because they get their 3 accounts in the first 2 days. So they're never getting billed for that. And the reason for that is we have had relationships come on in the past that squeeze the life out of our banking partners for time, energy, and attention, and then do very little in the process because, you know, they're chasing the next flashing light or whatever the case might be. So we just want to make sure that we eliminate some of that. So everybody's assessed $24.95. They get 3 accounts, not 3 nonprofits. We're talking just 3 average accounts that want to support a nonprofit. And that fee is waived, and they never experience another fee working with us ever again. All of our commissions are paid directly from the banks and our insurance providers. So there's never a risk of somebody not getting paid. Everybody is set up exactly in that system. So when you work in the nonprofit space in Share360, we actually set you up to get paid directly from our banking partners. So you get direct, your $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 commissions are at no risk of running through our company, where you might go, oh, wait a second, what if they go out of business? What if BizConnect goes somewhere else? You get paid directly from Wells Fargo for being one of the ambassadors in the program.
Now, and that brings up the next question. is there a size variance for the nonprofit? It could be a small nonprofit. It has to be a large.
Yeah, perfect question. So for us to make sure that we have the most level of success, and we also want to make sure that the program has impact in the way we designed it, ideally we want to work with what's called community-based nonprofits. So we aren't necessarily looking for the national brands, Salvation Army, World Wildlife Federation, Susan G. Komen. We love the work they do, but they have plenty of media budgets. They can put ads on Fox News and CNN and everything else. So they don't really need to work with our programs. Also, they also have large committees, which makes the cycle very long for decision-making processes. The other end of the spectrum is extremely small nonprofits usually don't have enough traction or community influence or access to the community to have success in this program. So we're talking, for example, two soccer moms that want to save cats out of the garage. They may not be a good fit for us. But everyone in between, we work a lot with after-school programs, shelter programs, whether it be safe homes, whether it be recovery centers, memory loss clinics, any one of those community-based churches, municipal organizations, they work well with us because they have an impact in the community. They have access to the business owners. They maybe have a little bit of brand recognition. So it'll give a lot of stimulus to this program as well.
Awesome. One question I have, because everything I do is based on residual income and leaving it to my family. How's that business model set up as we build this book of business? Is it willable to my son, my family? How's that set up in this business model?
Yeah, absolutely. That's why one of our brands is Legacy 360 because we're very family oriented and legacy focused as well. So everything that you have with us, not only is it residual, but it's also willable, transferable, and trustable.
Awesome. Awesome. Game on. Game on. All right. Any other questions?
Thank you, Natasha. Thank
That's
you.
my wife, by the way. She likes that.
Oh, even better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's awesome. So, any other questions from anyone before we move forward? All right, all right.
And Ben, we can always have additional conversations like this with you and your leadership team as often as we need to as well. I certainly want to make sure that everybody has the ability to fully grasp this for themselves so
Right.
they can wrap their heads around it as well. Essentially, I will tell you how our model works. We are a partnership enterprise. Obviously, we treat everybody like partners, which means we're all building this together. Our goal here at BizConnect is to provide you service, assistance, fulfillment, concierge, help. And your job is to essentially run the business the way you want to run it, right? So we're not running your business for you. You are the CEO of your own enterprise. All of you are. And our job is to be able to assist you and help you with your identity building and everything else and your relationships and giving you first-class programs and products so that you could have the ability to go and keep doing the work that you want to do. In the next few days, we'll talk with Ben about essentially onboarding this enterprise into our ecosystem. And then we'll have a series of trainings and orientations specifically with each vertical. So you'll be able to have an understanding of how each vertical works, specifically in the B2B space, but you're going to also understand the B2C applications.
Right.
And you're going to realize that this is designed to make you efficient, where you can make a tremendous amount of monies without having to do all of the paperwork because all of that will be handled at a concierge level.
Which is awesome. So it's kind of a hands-off. Man, I love it when I don't have to do all the work.
Well, you have to do the most important work, which is caring
The
about
connections.
people and being a relationship manager.
Exactly, exactly. And like you said, when we first met, when you said you don't have to lose your identity,
Yep.
where individuals are life professionals, I mean, financial advisors, and this just complements what we do, which is pretty awesome. I think Larry asked the question because this isn't network marketing. If you could explain how we're usually doing this structure and how to keep it the way you explained it to me, if you could go over that real quick, if you will.
Yeah, so Larry, as a company, we try to keep this essentially what we have is we have what we call agency partner relationships. So we bring on agencies that have their own reps. And there's a couple of ways that we can manage those relationships. So within our system as a service to people who may want to just focus on building teams or running an agency, we have essentially three levels that we can monitor within our organization. There's the agency level, which allows somebody to run their own agency within our umbrella so that they can get paid as a agency partner. And then we have a senior associate and we have an associate. Outside of that, that's kind of where it ends for us to be able to service and help out with. Agency wanted to work within our ecosystem, then we would help manage basically three levels of relationship.
Perfect. Awesome. Any other questions?
Yeah.
All right.
There's an ability for obviously for people to build teams and stuff like that as well, because this is truly an easy gift to give somebody else the ability to have access to concierge level programs, which gives them access to perpetual clients that they never have to prospect to ever again. So that would be the key takeaway. Major.
Absolutely. So yeah, let's wrap it up here. Where let's get back. You and I will get back on the phone, and we'll meet with everybody to send over. Well, I'll find out if you guys want to be in or out because we're going to move on this quickly going into the new month. I just think it's a perfect combination or complementing stream of income that's going to help us to really, because a lot of us, as me and Butch was talking about, we're in that NFL club. And we're in the NFL club. And the reality is, I mean, not saying that we don't have friends, but we've hit them up for so many things. And this is going to allow us to open up other avenues organically.
Right.
And develop new relationships organically without having to pay for leads. And then the leads is trash. So that's one of the key things that I'm excited about here, which it just simply came right on time, complementing the vision that I had in the beginning. Because I was like, we need something that's for our teammates we bring on board who are not licensed, who's not getting their license, but they want to come up, be a part of our movement and our ecosystem, along with being able to create organic leads to expand out beyond our sphere of influences. And this right here complements that. When we bring on people who don't get their license, there's multiple variables that are non-licensed products. So they still could generate income and then do the referrals, and we as licensed agents can help with those referrals and do a, I won't say kickback because this is being recorded, but I did say that. Give a referral fee.
Well, I'll say this, Ben, if you allow me to just share a little bit about that. In our Legacy 360 channel, we have a living trust program. We've partnered up with an attorney network around the country, right? And this is also concierge driven. So let's just say Larry and Mrs. Larry are my clients. And I'm the rep. And I'd say, hey, Larry, listen, I think it's time that we got this living trust thing taken care of because we've put it off long enough. And Larry agrees, right? And I say, here's what we're going to do, Larry. I'm going to go ahead and set an appointment with my concierge team. They're specialists in this field. As you know, I'm not an attorney, Larry, and I'm not a living trust expert, but we have people in our office that are. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and set this appointment for you on Thursday at noon, right? So we book the appointment, and then the concierge team gets on the meeting with Larry, and they do soup to nuts everything that Larry and Mrs. Larry need with regards to their living trust. But because they work for us in-house, and because we're training them to be able to understand the business, they're also trained to extract any financial data that they're going to discover in that meeting with Larry and Mrs. Larry. So they're going to find out if Larry and Mrs. Larry have insurance policies. If so, when did they get them? What kind are they at? How much are they funding them with? Where they're being held? If they have any old annuities that are sitting dormant, if there are any 401ks that are sitting dormant, if they left their employment in the last several years and they never moved into a self-directed IRA, all of that is because it's pertinent to the trust. but it's also going to be pertinent to me, the financial planner, to be able to handle that business. So when it's done and they get Larry completely, his trust in place, recorded, and all that kind of stuff, the concierge team is going to send me an intel report of everything that came out of that meeting, so I can call Larry and Mrs. Larry and say, hey, I'm glad the trust all got handled, and I'm glad everything has been taken care of. How was that experience? Larry's going to say their experience was great, because it is. And I'm going to say that's awesome. So not only did I get paid, by the way, for that trust referral, which is something that we can pay to all of our unlicensed reps, right? But now I'm going to say, hey, Larry, listen, in speaking with the concierge team, I realized that you may have had an old IRA sitting in an old employer, or your wife may have left the hospital 4 years ago where she worked as a nurse for 27 years, and it's still kind of sitting there. There are some options today that you might want to hear about, and I'm happy to share those ideas with you if you think there's a good fit. And then Larry's going to say, yeah, Butch, let's talk about those things, right? So now I absolutely have the ability to go ahead and increased from that living trust appointment, which I got paid for. I now have the ability to go pick up some insurance or some annuities and all those things that I have to happen, because here's what's going to happen. I'm also going to say, hey, Larry, it looks like you have a policy that you set up 18 years ago when your son was born. Well, it's a 20-year term. It's about 2 years away from expiring. There might be some programs today which allow you for conversions without the need to prove insurability. I'm going to have all these conversations with him because of that trust. So the living trust that just happened. So not only did I get paid for that living trust referral, but now I have extracted intel data that's going to allow me to come back and provide a financial plan. Now, what happens if I have 10 people on my team that are not licensed, but they can all get paid for referring a living trust? So they're all going to refer a living trust. All of my 10 guys are going to get paid for that. But all those intel reports roll up to me because I'm the first licensed upline guy in the agency. Another way to create perpetual referrals
That
in
is
a more
amazing.
professional way as well.
If y'all didn't fall out your chairs from that, goodness, I don't get it. That's amazing. Everybody's talking about a trust.
We get it.
Oh, I know you do. I know y'all. I know y'all get it. Y'all just being too cool for school right now. But and a lot of folks is in the middle of different things. But that's amazing. And here's the thing, because you gave a cost. I don't know if you want to. Well, you have to. We got the cost for the trust is what? $2,995, I think it was.
Yeah, nationwide, regardless of size, we have what's called an aggregate pricing.
Hold on. Can you repeat that number?
$29.95, Larry.
What?
Exactly.
Nationwide, regardless of size.
Regardless of the let me be very transparent and
That's what?
exactly. So you have your family trust, business trust, charitable trust, and all that structuring stuff. Are we talking about setting those types of things up, or just saying a business trust or what have you? What exactly does that entail?
This is a living trust
A living trust.
that encompasses all of that moving parts.
Powerful.
That is the cheapest I've ever heard of a trust being set up.
Absolutely, and it's commissionable as well, and it's commissionable to your reps. And obviously our concierge team is trained to be able to extract intel, because we come from financial services, and we know that all of those points are brought up in a conversation in a trust that may not have come up over years of coffee with me and Larry and Mrs. Larry.
Absolutely. That's huge. All right. Let's go to work. Let's move forward. Guys, I thank each and every one of you for your time. Hey, Butch, Hudson, thank you.
We look forward to it, man. Let's make this
you.
happen.
Let's go. We got a whole squad. We got an army that we're going to bring this to. I just wanted to bring that core group of people together. There's a few others that weren't able to make it, but they're coming. And then we'll just roll it out accordingly. And man, we're going to make a big difference. And that's the key thing. We're making a difference. Because right now, in these times where gas prices are going up and everything's going up, these businesses and nonprofits, they're not going to be giving to nonprofits because they got to pay their light bill. But they're still going to get their daggone coffee and donuts every morning. So if they don't see it, they don't feel it. It'll still be distributed to these nonprofits that'll keep them afloat. The timing is absolutely perfect.
I'm privileged to got a chance to meet all you guys this morning. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day. Adele, for waking up so early in the morning and being so attentive and present. Looking forward to working with all of you guys as we move forward. I need to jump into another meeting here in a minute, but I'm